My name is Lauren Hughes. I'm matched in family medicine at Avara Health/NSU in Clearwater, St. Petersburg, Florida. So I'm originally from Washington, D.C. area, Prince George's County, Maryland. Before medical school, I went to University of Maryland, College Park, kinesiology. Then I went to George Washington University and got my master's of public health. While I was doing that, I worked as a medical assistant at a primary care office in Washington, D.C. And it was during that time that the doctor I was working for kind of was like nudging me to go to medical school. So that's what led me to find St. James. Without kind of being someone who always wanted to go into medicine, I didn't 100% have like a pre-med background like other people, and having a doctor who I was working for just kind of nudged me towards doing medical school after I already had like a professional degree and everything. I was looking at more alternative routes and what I felt would be the best option for me. And I found St. James, and I knew that if I went into medicine, I wanted to do primary care, probably family medicine. And since St. James had such a high proportion of their students matching family medicine, that just really sealed the deal for me to go to that school. And it gave me, I think, a really good opportunity to live in a whole other country while learning medicine and just become a more well-rounded person. I think what's really important is you have to be pretty self-sufficient. And like, yes, obviously your teachers are there, they're gonna guide you and you're gonna learn in class, but you have to find what works for you and be diligent in doing that every day. Make your schedule, and that might be different from person A to person B, but you have to find what works for you and make sure that you stick to that and work towards that every day. Even if it's just like 10 minutes that day, the important thing is that you make that schedule and you keep moving along. I was a person who I liked to do questions. Like I said, I think it differs from person to person. For me, I'm a visual learner as well, so I really liked watching videos, especially if you've heard of Sketchy, because it's like I said, I'm visual. And then after kind of getting that base knowledge, doing a lot of questions, and whether that be just UWorld reviewing random sporadic, as well as taking lots of practice tests and MBMEs and things, because you know, you have to practice for the real deal. So you just kind of have to find what works for you. But for me, that was the most effective method. It's a high stress period, so you're gonna hear a lot of differing advice from different people, whether that's online, from friends, this, that. Keep in mind the grain of salt that a lot of different things are sometimes being said because it is a high stress environment. So what I found very helpful was go to the source. I actually sat down and I read the whole ERAS systems user manual for actually the guidelines for what was truly possible for when you could edit your personal statement and when things had to be uploaded and how long they took, because it's high stress, it makes sense, but you're gonna hear tons of people say oh, it'll be this or it'll be that and blah, blah, blah. Just go to the source and read it, and then you know. So that's one of my biggest pieces of advice, is just go to the source with that. Second, since I only applied to family medicine, I found the American Academy of Family Physicians a really, really good resource for anyone who's applying family. Because yet again, go to the source. They have a lot of strolling through the match and a lot of videos about interviewing, and as well as rank lists and just all these information to even questions for you as an applicant to ask during your interview. They have a list so you can kind of cherry pick which ones you want. So if anyone's applying to family medicine, I would definitely check out their website. So I was never so happy to be on rotation. I had emergency medicine and I had 2 12-hour shifts that Saturday and Sunday, and I was so grateful. So, because doing that, I wasn't thinking about it as much. So definitely keep busy if you can, because once you submit your rank list, you can't change it. You've done everything you can do. There's nothing else you can change. So you just kind of have to, trust the process, try to keep busy to make it go faster. So that was helpful. It felt pretty surreal, to be honest. I was glad I had my fiance there with me because I had him also read the email like 5 times to make sure that I read it right. So it's just a surreal process, but really rewarding. I like to leave that a little open because you never know what things you're gonna learn along the way or what residency will expose me to that I might have not have ever thought about, and that will lead me down a different path. But as of what I know right now, I'm leaning towards probably doing a fellowship in like women's health or obstetrics. So that would be like 1 year added on to the family medicine residency. And then probably, you know, working a little more outpatient. I want to keep working in primary care, primarily with underserved populations, minority groups, because that's what I identify with the most.